haven't wanted to make the video for a couple of reasons. Well, for so many reasons. But I think the biggest one is I don't want to open this up for commentary. I just feel like we can't take much more commentary. And two, all of my relationships are very complicated, and so that makes this just so much worse, so much more complex, so much, to me, it makes it so much harder to navigate when nothing looks the way it used to. I think that makes it a lot harder. And I think I also just, it's been multiple weeks, and it's almost like my brain won't let me believe that it's real. And there's just been so much pressure in the media put on me that I feel like I can't think for myself. It's like when I go to say something, it's just I can't even finish a thought because there's so many different angles that I'm assuming people are coming at me at. And so I can't even tell you that my dad is sick without just being terrified of what people are going to say about that. And that's just so weird. But when my dad was on his mission with my mom, he didn't feel well. And I assumed that it was, the rest of us didn't feel well because we were all just sick. Sick with what was happening to our lives. And stress does horrendous things to your body. And so I think we just kind of figured that it was that. He was getting skinnier, but so is my mom, because they were walking everywhere. They were eating really, really clean diets over there in Serbia. And they got home, and my dad was working on his gut health because he knew his gut wasn't feeling right. And so he was really working on things that he was eating. And he had to limit what time of day he could eat. And so the weight loss kind of seemed normal for that. But then he just kept getting skinnier. My dad's dad died from prostate cancer. And so my dad has always been really on top of getting yearly exams done, and even with being extra cautious and aware that this was in his DNA, he still got prostate cancer. And prostate cancer is graded or scaled on two different ways. Everyone knows stage 1, 2, 3, 4 cancer. My dad has stage 4 cancer because it has metastasized. It's in his lymph nodes. It's right up against his bladder. It's up against his colon. So it's kind of spread out from the prostate. But it also is tested on a Gleason scale, and the Gleason scale is 1 through 10, and my dad is at a Gleason 8, which I think means that it's aggressive. I'm not exactly sure why, but they cannot do surgery to remove it. He kind of joked, he's like, they said it's too deep. He's like, I'm only this deep. How deep is too deep when you cut into the body? Anyway, so he'll do radiation, he'll do immunotherapy, and he'll do hormone therapy. And it's a lot. He will do it, 5 days a week for the next X amount of weeks, and then I don't even know the whole plan, but it's intense. And I think just the thought of watching my dad get weaker is just, watching him get skinnier has impacted me a lot. Just physically seeing him, that impacts me a lot. And so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna be able to watch him become weaker. They were supposed to come and bring their RV and spend a month here in the Keys with us. And we worked really hard to get him a slip right next to ours, and so when the guys moved and left the slot next to us, and we had this empty slot next to our trailer. I hate for me that I don't get to have my parents here with us this time around. But I hate even more that my dad won't be here to experience it. Because last year I just thought, oh, they would love this so much. They would love it here. And they would. And it just makes me really sad because my parents have worked really hard to stay healthy their whole lives. And I just feel like, what does it matter if it just ends this way anyway? But my parents have a much better attitude than I do about it. I can't even hardly talk about it. But they're really positive. And I think that will go a long way. I know that this is hard for them, obviously, but they have a very positive attitude, and I think that will take them far. I think that will benefit them. It definitely feels weird making a video about my dad. Like I should be making it to my dad, but he knows how I feel. I wonder if each kid would feel this same way. But I told him, I said, in my mind, I'm gonna take this the worst. In my mind, I'm gonna take this the hardest. Nobody could, and in my thoughts, it's like, I don't think anyone could possibly take this harder than me. And that's probably not true, but I don't know. If that's insensitive to say, then I apologize. My point in saying that is that I love my dad very much. And I can't even think of how my mom feels. My mom's watched a lot of people die from cancer. Life just moves on. Everybody just keeps doing their thing, day in and day out. My dad's like, go fishing. Keep doing all the things that you're doing. And so as I go and about my life, I think I just don't allow my brain to think about anything. If anything comes into my brain, it goes out just as soon as it comes in, and I literally feel like I just dissociate as I go about my life. It's almost like I'm just pretending that nothing's happening. Joel's mom is fine. My dad is fine. My family life is fine. When I did talk to my parents on the phone, it is just, we can't stress about what our lives are going to look like. And I feel like there's so much uncertainty just in my own personal life, but we control so little in our lives. I mean, I used to think if I could just make good choices, then I won't have the same struggles that everybody else has. I'll just make good choices and I'll have a good life. And here I am. I don't feel like I'm living a good life. And see, it's like I can't even say that. I can't even honestly say that because, well, you have this, you have this, you have that. Like I'm not allowed to feel, basically. I'm not allowed to have an opinion, is how I feel. Like I can't even, and that's what I mean by I don't feel like I can even form a sentence or a thought because it's incorrect. It's wrong. Or the thought, I'll just be healthy. I'll just eat healthy so I don't get sick. And that is not how life works. So we control very little. And the only thing we can do is try really hard not to stress about the outcome. And it's going to be what it's going to be. And we will just try to navigate it the very best that we can. That's it. And that's what I am telling myself in basically every aspect of life right now. Just each day just do the very best you can to get through it. I don't know if it would make me feel worse or better making this video with my dad. I think if I was home, I would want to make this video with him. But the honest truth is I don't want to expose him. But I also feel like he deserves to... I mean, he's been on this journey on YouTube right along with us. So I don't want to hide him, but all I want to do is hide him. I used to feel, before I experienced very much life, anytime anything bad would happen, people would say, I'm praying for you. And it kind of made me roll my eyes. Because I'm like, okay, I don't know. Anyway, that was a really immature thought, because up until many years ago, when everyone said, we're praying for you, I'm pretty sure that is the only thing that has made me survive the last many years. And so I do know that having people all over the world praying for you helps. It really does. It really does. So even if this video just only brings prayers on my dad's behalf, that will be welcomed and appreciated. I feel like that's all I can muster up for a closing of this video.